Grab your tissues, dear viewers, because the poetic heartbeat of a generation, whose words tore open the raw truths of love, identity, and mortality with fearless grace, has stilled forever, leaving a world of fans and dreamers drowning in tears and clinging to the verses that changed their lives. Andrea Gibson, the trailblazing spoken-word poet and Colorado's luminous poet laureate, has tragically succumbed to their battle with ovarian cancer, their departure a gut-wrenching reminder that even the brightest spirits can be dimmed too soon. Born on August 13, 1975, in Calais, Maine, Andrea burst onto the poetry scene in the late 1990s after moving to Colorado, where they honed their craft, weaving raw emotion into powerful performances that tackled gender identity, social justice, and the human condition, earning them the first Women of the World Poetry Slam title in 2008 for Denver Grand Slam Championships, and 2 independent publisher awards for their 7 soul-stirring books like Pole Dancing to Gospel Hymns, Lord of the Butterflies, and You Better Be Lightning, while their 2023 appointment as Colorado's 9th Poet Laureate by Governor Jared Polis cemented their role as an ambassador of art and unity, their words resonating globally through viral performances and the award-winning 2025 Sundance documentary Come See Me in the Good Light, which captured their love story with wife Megan Foley and their brave fight against cancer, touching hearts with its raw honesty and earning accolades like the Festival Favorite Award. In their personal life, Andrea's heart was an open book, anchored by their profound love for Megan, a fellow poet who stood by their side through joy and pain, their bond a beacon of queer love celebrated in their work, while their 3 beloved dogs and close-knit circle of family, including parents and siblings and ex-partners who remained dear friends, filled their days with warmth, their life a testament to living authentically and loving fiercely despite the shadow of illness that loomed since their 2021 ovarian cancer diagnosis. In a heart-shattering moment that unfolded like one of their own elegiac poems, Andrea passed away on July 14, 2025, at 4:16 a.m. in their home in Longmont, Colorado, at the age of 49, surrounded by Megan, 4 ex-girlfriends, their parents, dozens of friends, and their 3 cherished dogs, succumbing to stage 4 ovarian cancer after a 4-year battle that they faced with the same courage and grace that defined their art, their final wish to be remembered as a winner, not a loser of any battle. Echoing in their own words from Love Letter from the Afterlife, dying is the opposite of leaving. The world erupted in grief as tributes poured in like a flood of shared verses, with fans on social media weeping over their transformative poetry, one writing, Andrea's words saved my life when I felt invisible, RIP to a true light. Colorado Governor Jared Polis mourned their unique ability to connect with poetry lovers in a heartfelt statement. Comedian Tig Notaro, an executive producer on their documentary, shared on Instagram that witnessing Andrea's final days was painful but one of the most beautiful experiences, calling them a genuine rock star. The Sundance Film Festival honored their enduring power of love, art, and resilience. Fellow poet Hillary Doris posted on their memorial page about their profound impact on her writing, and outlets like CNN, USA Today, and The Independent ran emotional obituaries hailing their fearless exploration of life and death, while fans organized virtual poetry readings to recite works like The Madness Face, amplifying their legacy as a voice for the marginalized and a champion of finding beauty in pain. As we clutch their poetry books and replay their performances, let us hold fast to the radiant spirit of Andrea Gibson, the Maine-born dreamer who turned pain into poetry and love into legacy, teaching us to embrace our truths, dance with our diagnoses, and live with hearts covered in stretch marks. Rest in victorious peace, dear Andrea. Your voice may have quieted, but it echoes eternally in every soul you touched, urging us to love boldly, live fully, and write our own love letters to the afterlife, leaving us forever changed, deeply moved, and profoundly grateful for the poet who showed us how to be more here than ever before. Hold on to your hearts, folk rock faithful, because the poetic soul whose haunting banjo strums and evocative lyrics wove tales of love, loss, and rebellion into the fabric of British music has strummed his final chord, plunging the world into a melancholic hush that echoes the sorrow of a bygone era. Dave Cousins, the visionary founder and enduring voice of the Strawbs, has tragically slipped away after a valiant fight against the shadows of illness, leaving behind a symphony of memories that will forever tug at our heartstrings and remind us of the fragility beneath rock's resilient facade. Born David Joseph Hinson on January 7, 1940, in Heston, Middlesex, England, Dave burst onto the scene in the swinging 1960s, co-founding the Strawbs in 1964 as a bluegrass trio that evolved into a pioneering folk rock force, blending acoustic intimacy with progressive flair on seminal albums like From the Witchwood in 1971 and Grave New World the following year, scoring massive hits with the anthemic Part of the Union in 1973 that stormed the UK charts to number 2 and became a Union Rally Cry, while his masterful songwriting on tracks like Lay Down and Hero and Heroine earned critical acclaim and a devoted cult following, collaborating with icons like Sandy Denny and Rick Wakeman, touring relentlessly across Europe and America, and even venturing into radio as a DJ and executive, all while amassing a discography of over 20 albums that span 6 decades, culminating in a triumphant 50th anniversary reunion in 2017 that proved his timeless appeal and solidified his status as a folk rock legend who bridged generations with poetic depth and melodic magic. But beyond the spotlight, Dave was a tender family man whose life was enriched by quiet joys, marrying his beloved wife Margaret in the 1960s and raising 5 children who became his greatest pride, often drawing inspiration from personal experiences for his introspective lyrics that explored themes of mortality and human frailty, while in later years he battled health setbacks with the same quiet determination that fueled his music, finding solace in his half-sister and extended family who stood by him through thick and thin, his private world a sanctuary of love amid the chaos of touring and creativity that humanized the rock poet we all adored. In a heartrending finale that unfolded like one of his own melancholic ballads, Dave passed away peacefully on July 13, 2025, at Pilgrim's Hospice in Canterbury, England, following a series of strokes and a long battle with illness at the age of 85, his family choosing to share the news with a poignant grace that allowed fans to grieve the man who had soundtracked their lives for over half a century. The music world erupted in waves of raw emotion as tributes flooded in like a final encore that refused to end, with the Strawbs' official Facebook page announcing his passing with a touching message that sparked thousands of heartbroken comments from fans sharing how his songs like Autumn healed their souls during dark times. While rock luminaries poured out their grief, former bandmate Rick Wakeman called him a brilliant songwriter and dear friend whose vision shaped progressive folk. Sandy Denny's estate posted a nostalgic photo reminiscing their collaborations, and artists like Fairport Convention's Simon Nicol hailed him as a pioneer who touched us all with his poetic genius, echoed by media outlets from The Guardian to louder sound running emotional obituaries that celebrated his 60-year journey, fans organizing online vigils with playlists of Strawbs classics, and even everyday admirers like one who wrote Dave's voice was the soundtrack of my youth, R.I.P. to a true legend amid a global outpouring that underscored the profound void left by his absence. As the last notes of his melodies linger in the air like autumn leaves, let us wrap ourselves in the warmth of Dave Cousins' enduring gift, the Heston visionary who turned folk tales into rock anthems and taught us to find beauty in life's fleeting moments, embracing love's joys and sorrows with open arms. Rest in harmonious peace, dear Dave. Your banjo may rest now, but your songs dance eternally in our memories, urging us to live poetically, love fiercely, and cherish the unions that bind us. Leaving us all a whisper wiser, profoundly touched, and forever grateful for the straw that wove gold into our hearts. Hold on to your hearts, rock fans, because the quirky genius whose keyboard riffs and deadpan humor turned a mockumentary into a cult classic has left the stage forever, sending shockwaves through Hollywood and music circles as David Caff, the beloved musician and actor immortalized as Viv Savage in This Is Spinal Tap, has tragically passed away. A loss that feels like the amp finally cranked to 11 and then suddenly silenced, reminding us how fleeting even the most vibrant lives can be. Born David Ewer on April 17, 1946, in Folkestone, Kent, England, to a physician father and artist mother, David adopted his stage name Caffinetti early in his career, co-founding the progressive rock band Rare Bird in 1969 where he played keyboards and helped craft their signature organ-driven sound, achieving international success with the haunting single Sympathy that climbed to number 27 on the UK charts in 1970 and sold over 1 million copies worldwide, releasing 5 studio albums before the band's dissolution in 1975, all while blending symphonic rock with poignant lyrics that captured the era's spirit. His acting breakthrough came in 1984 when he portrayed the hilariously stoic keyboardist Viv Savage in Rob Reiner's groundbreaking mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, delivering iconic lines like "Have a good time, all the time" that became fan favorites and cemented his place in comedy history, appearing on Saturday Night Live with the fictional band that same year. Though he stepped away from Spinal Tap reunions to focus on his own music, including stints with groups like Mutual Love, Alameda's Wild Kingdom and occasional film roles in projects like Black Dog in 1998 and Trust in 2018, earning a reputation as a versatile artist whose dry wit and musical talent bridged rock and satire. On a personal note, David found lifelong companionship with his wife Marjolaine Anacardon, a union that provided stability amid the chaos of fame, though he kept much of his private life shielded from the spotlight, cherishing quiet moments in his later years where he reflected on a career that spanned over 5 decades, often crediting his English roots for his resilient humor and passion for progressive sounds that influenced countless musicians. In a serene yet heartbreaking close to a life filled with melody and mirth, David passed away peacefully in his sleep on July 11, 2025, at his home in Folkestone, Kent, England, from natural causes at the age of 79, his final days marked by the gentle fate of a man who had given so much to the world without ever seeking the limelight. The news unleashed a torrent of grief across the entertainment world, with fans flooding social media in tears, sharing clips of Viv Savage's deadpan gems and declaring him a true cult icon whose sympathy still resonates. One devotee posting, "David's humor turned up to 11, RIP to a legend who made us laugh through the absurdity." His band Mutual of Alameda's Wild Kingdom announced the loss on Facebook with a touching tribute, calling him a brilliant musician and kind soul who passed peacefully, sparking thousands of shares. Director Rob Reiner tweeted an emotional remembrance, saying, "David brought Viv to life with perfect timing and heart, gone too soon, but his spirit rocks on." Co-star Michael McKean, aka David St. Hubbins, shared a heartfelt Instagram post hailing him as a dear friend and keyboard wizard whose wit was unmatched. Rick Wakeman, the prog rock keyboard maestro, mourned him as a pioneer whose rare bird flights inspired us all, and outlets like Rolling Stone and Variety ran glowing obituaries praising his dual talents, while Spinal Tap enthusiasts organized virtual tributes with playlists blending rare bird anthems and film quotes, all echoing the profound sadness of losing a quiet giant who made rock history hilarious. As we dim the lights and cue the final riff, let's cherish David Caff's unbreakable charm, the Folkestone dreamer who turned keys into comedy gold and taught us to find joy in the chaos, embracing life's absurdities with a wink and a tune. Rest in rocking peace, dear David. Your savage spirit may have departed, but it echoes eternally in every laugh and lyric, urging us to have a good time all the time, leaving us forever amused, deeply emotional, and profoundly thankful for the man who amplified our world to 11.